Well, legends, it's a pretty fun night of footy. If you're a Knights fan, you're pretty happy with the output there. 8 tries for the Knights in this game, all to the wingers, and Mr. Edric Lee. One of them was a bit contentious. I feel like his hand was out for sure. But the rest of them, awesome for him to see him get 5 tries and set the record for the Knights is pretty exciting. And Dom Young played really well also. Titans, on the other hand, just the amount of errors in that first half just absolutely killed them, and that was the end of them. They tried to come back, in that back end there, had that one error that they gave them, which kind of ruined all momentum, and Knights scored off that set, which was a little bit annoying. It looked like he just stuffed up the pass. So is what it is, but yeah, nice win for the Knights anyway. So 89 for Edric, 74 for Dom Young. No one really owns them, so doesn't really make too much of a difference. Obviously, a few with Edric, but anyone serious in the top 5k isn't playing him anyway. So that's that. Brimson, he's looking really, really electric. It's great to see him back playing great footy. Super fast, obviously, length of the field. Run away as well. The 10 tackle breaks to go along with a try saver. He was spectacular at the back, and obviously Campbell will come back eventually. Obviously love Brimson in the 1 position, but he's been playing pretty well at 6 also. Just not a keeper this year. Might be someone for future. Both for Moore's been an interesting one. He's had another really lovely game there, 62, 48 tackles for him, so 58 in base. He was great, so if you still own him, you're happy with that. It's not a great deal, but yeah, he was solid. Clemmer, 52 in the 58 minutes. Obviously had the sin bin there at the back end of the game, which destroyed a few of his minutes and his points, but he was doing great. 49 in base, only the two in negatives there with the 1 missed tackle, and the sin bin there. So that was that for Clem. Solid game. Just he lost his cool a little bit, which is completely fair. Could have been worse. Could have had the send off, but is what it is. Gags for 45 was much better. Milf, I'm really liking the way he's actually playing footy at the moment. He's doing great. The 2 try assists there, a couple of nice passes. They were showing their hand early. The Titans, in terms of their defensive line, was coming right up into the line pretty much as soon as Milford was getting in his hands, and same for Clune. So they were showing him their hand, and then they could just pass it over top, make the correct decision, and get the job done. So Milf and Clune both had pretty great games. They kicked the ball dead once or twice between them, and adjusted from there and got a nice win. So without Ponga, it was really, really good to see them come out and do that. Jaden Brayley sounds like he might be back next week as well. So probably not an option in fantasy straight away, but he's someone that's going to help out this team especially, and given he's their captain, was before he got injured there, be nice to see him come back, and for nice to improve a little bit and get closer to that 9, 10, 11 position. Greg Marzu ended up with a try there, and he's been solid. Obviously way too expensive. We got Fafita off the bench, 55 minutes there, 18 tackles, 137 meters. Did all right. Had a lovely flick pass, which ended up with the Marzu try, I believe. So he definitely affects their scoring, but how he affects them on defense, I'm not too sure about. His effort a lot of the time can be a little bit lackluster, but obviously his attacking flair, the 137 meters was much better. I feel like he got his hands on the ball a lot more than what he normally gets out there. So a solid output for him in the 55. Frizzell was a bit of a sad one. So the 25 tackles for 5 misses was really rare. 140 meters was normal-ish. We'd expect about 150, 170 for him, with a little more attacking stats, but usually around that 35 to 40 tackles. So a bit of a light one for him, unfortunately. Pretty much playing the whole game, and only 39 minutes. So yeah, I think he'll bounce back from that. That was a pretty tough game for him. And also Mitchie Barnett, they did have the ball a lot, and surprisingly that they were were able to miss so many tackles when they were scoring so many tries. So the tackles were down for that reason, but the misses is the annoying part. Mitch Barnett, a couple of penalties there, the couple of errors, and also the 4 missed tackles just copped it for him, obviously there. So that's the kind of what we stand to see from Barnett on a fairly regular basis, is he can get those mid-30s, high 30s, and then get you the 50, 60, where Frizzell, it's very rare that he picks up that 39. So definitely think that's just a random one for him. If we're looking down, we've got Randall with 38, which was okay. Tino was a low one for him, so 47 minutes. Didn't get the huge minutes with them not really being in the game until they picked up those 2 quick tries, and they were in it for about 15 minutes there before that error, and then Knights went on a bit of a tear to finish off the game. So yeah, a little bit of an annoying one for anyone that owns Tino, because that's not where he's been averaging. He's gained 150k and has been averaging in the low to mid 50s there over the last stretch anyway. Curdy Mann, if anyone thinking about him, don't at this stage. Toby Sexton, I think he's a definite trade out, but I never really told anyone to select him anyway. And McIntyre this week, only the 29 minutes. So with Fafita coming on and playing the 55, he took those minutes there. Leo Thompson, anyone owns him, needs to be removed ASAP. And we move on to the next game. So Panthers v Roosters, the craziness here is that, Panthers are 15-1 now. And Roosters played a really, really good game of football and still couldn't get away with the win. There were a fair few errors from both sides early in the game. Obviously, with the rain about this week, that's going to be definitely affecting the ball handling across all games. But just really frustrating for the Roosters because they actually are playing really well. And missing Keary in this one to come out and still have a great game, I think they did a good job. And you're looking at the top two scorers being from the Roosters, and Taukei'aho had a terrific game. 217 metres for 39 tackles, so 60 in base there. Was terrific with the try involvement as well and the 6 tackle breaks. So he had a spectacular game and has been on an absolute tear of recent time. And he's definitely someone that's been a solid option. We could have, a few people picked him up in 13. Not a great deal, but he was definitely someone that was targeted. He's never really been a super consistent scorer. This is probably the best stretch of his career, I'd say, in terms of his fantasy output. So well done for anyone who picked him up. We got Joey Manu with 66. So the 14 tackle breaks, 158 metres, 16 tackles, which is great because he bumps that up a little bit when he moves into the 6 role, which is ideal. And just the 1 try assist. So did a great job in this game to come out and score really well. And shows why he's a clear centre gun, and obviously playing in the fullback position or the 6 position is the best spot for him. But still, that's in the centre role, can have his big games as well. Coruscant with 64 was a great game for him. The 12 missed tackles is crazy, but he had the line break try and also the try assist, which got him to that 60 odds. So if you still own him, a few people are asking me if they should trade him out this week, and I thought that was a silly one. He's someone that has those 60s, 70s in him. And this was another one of those good solid games. All right, Isaac Tongo there was 60. So he is someone we've been speaking about moving on. Just had too many 20s and 30s in his game. And this was a great one for him with 30 in base between the tackles and the run meters there, the 2 line breaks and the try and the 6 tackle breaks. So a great game overall, which is very much showed what he's been doing in the first month of the season. He just hasn't really scored anywhere near that or played anywhere near that capacity over the last 8 to 9 weeks, really, to be honest. And shows that now if you've held on to him, could you hold on again? I think it's still probably a decent opportunity to move him on in 17. With that 60, you don't lose any cash. If you got another 20 odd, you probably lose 30 or 40k. So that definitely saves you. But I still don't think he's a keeper overall. The average there is 42.9, which is solid. We're looking for probably a 45 from the centers, and he has not been averaging that for a good while now. Isaiah Yeo with 57 was solid. He's been averaging 60 for the year, so 57's right around that mark. Cleary with a lower game for him, just had the 1 try assist there, the 6 missed tackles, and the couple of penalties, the 1 error, and also the 10-meter penalty there obviously killed him in the negatives department with neg 19 there. So could have been scoring somewhere in the mid-60s if it was his normal negatives output. Kick meters, run meters was all fine. Like sometimes he has greater games than that. And just didn't have to get involved as much this week, which happens, right? 56, he'll get a 90 next week, and he averages out that high 60, 70, which is solid. Tedesco with 48. He got to that fairly quickly in the second half and then kind of petered off towards the end. Still a great keeper, and for those that don't own him, you're going to get a little bit of a drop over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you pick him up in 18 or 19 there. Butcher with 48 ended up getting moved to the back row with Satili Tupanua in the centres there. So Butch did a good job, along with his brother Egan, who got the 48 in the 39 minutes. So his output is even better than his brother's, to be honest. We've said this for a while, that he's someone that, if he can get 40 to 50 minutes, can be a real dominant player in fantasy with that terrific PPM he has. So that's that. But again, it's hard to see him being an option this year. Hopefully next year we can get an opportunity to pick him up at some point at an okay price, the 350, 400 kind of range there. Taylor May with 46. If you're still owning him, you're not losing any cash, which is awesome. 9 tackle breaks, 180 metres is terrific. It's what you want. Very much close to what Brian To'o numbers are like on a regular basis, which is lovely. Dylan Edwards 45, and then To'o with 43. So you got the try from him in the 7 tackle breaks. Just probably lack of meters was his downfall this game to stop him getting that 50. But he's still going to be a great option at a lovely cheap price heading into round 18 and 19 for those who are looking at him. Fisher Harris with the lower one, but I just love the way he plays. Runs so hard to the line. It helps him out tremendously. Verrills had a pretty nice game, if we're being honest. Ran the ball a bunch of times there and ended up scoring a try from short range, so he was great. We had Crichton there with 37, so the sin bin for him was tough, to be honest. It really hurts his output, and obviously anyone who owns him. He came back on and played okay, if we're being honest there. Wasn't spectacular at all, and we just got to hold him steady and see what we can get out of him over the next few weeks. We'll get him back to a normal output there. Radley was back. Let's not look at him for a little while. We've got Suali'i with 27 there, who was okay. For those that are looking at him, Jerome Luai with the lower one, Tupou with 19, Tupanil with 14, so he loses some cash. So that's going to finish off this video. The dry is starting to go absolutely bonkers here. I hope you all had enjoyed that one. Good luck with the Saturday games. I hope you enjoy it. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. See you later.